Chicago Bulls. Looks like Zach Lavine will be out for potentially 1 to 2 weeks in a pivotal moment when it comes down to his trade value. Let's talk about how this injury could absolutely impact that and what happens if you can't be traded. Let's talk about that and more right after this. Listen, if you are new to the channel, this is your boy Pkidd. This is your Chicago Bulls Breeze, offset of the Windy City Breeze, where we talk all things Chicago Bulls. You know who I am. My name is Pkidd. You know what I do. We talk sports. Let's get into it. Right now, Zach Lavine. Unfortunately, we all saw it, rolled his ankle. It's not as if he's just playing ill. We actually saw the injury is untimely, to say the least. But at this point, it just is what it is. It's going to be about 1 to 2 weeks before he's actually reevaluated, and could be something that actually has other implications as well. Now, what are those implications? Well, it looks like the Bulls are still going to try to go ahead and find a deal for him. Now, whether or not he would actually garner the same haul is different, because one of the actual reported concerns with Zach Lavine is, could he stay healthy? Now, you can't control something like this. You roll your ankle, it happens in sports. But with that already injury already being a concern, he's had major injuries before. And it's not like, this is not something that I personally feel like should totally hamper a player, but they just happen. Anthony Davis has gone through the same thing. He come back from one thing, and then all of a sudden we see him twist his ankle. He's out for another 10 games. It's just bad timing. But it's also at a time where the Bulls need to make a decision. They have to find identity, have to decide what they're going to do and where they're going to move forward, or how they're going to move forward, rather, with this organization. And it's also happening around a time where a certain someone, Kobe White, is also making his ascendance. And so now, with those two things in mind, his injury history, also Kobe White being who he is now, coming into the limelight a little bit, it makes you wonder, and it's going to make many other fans wonder, is Zach worth what the asking price is? Now, some people believe that Zach Lavine in any trade is trying to, well, the Bulls rather, are trying to garner a same type of situation Pascal Siakam can. I think that's absolutely not the case. Many teams that would be making a move for Zach Lavine, probably Zach Lavine is probably a nice to have, not a need to have. Pascal Siakam for many teams was a need to have. And so him coming forward with that, and also having the experience that he had in Toronto, again, that is a little different. Toronto has always, in some way, shape, or form, been in some type of playoff conversation. The Bulls, Zach Lavine specifically, have not. Now, again, I don't want to make this the same as if I'm against Zach. I'm a Zach fan. I am one who will actually sit here and say that a lot of the things that we attribute to Zach Lavine not making people better are a result of them not having better team mates around him. They just don't fit his timeline. Again, all the people we say made people better, they had teams around them. They did. LeBron has never been on a team where he made everyone better to the point where you would totally contribute all this success to him. Now, you could probably argue 18. I'll give you 18. You could probably argue 07. I may give you 07. But in many cases, no, not really. In fact, LeBron is synonymous with, if I'm on your team and you were there before I got there, you're most likely traded. It takes building around a player and putting certain pieces there to help. And AK tried to do that. It just didn't work. It all hinged on one player. He never replaced that player, that being Lonzo Ball. And everyone knows it, and you can tell. We see that. So again, the hate for Zach Lavine will always be great, because everyone looks at, we paid him 215, despite the fact that he is worth 215. That's just what the market is for players who can give you 25 points a game. That's just the market. That's not, the Bulls didn't reach. The Bulls didn't sit there and do anything spectacular. They paid him what the market dictated. It just is what it is. So Zach finds himself in an interesting scenario. Obviously, you can tell from my tone and and obviously you can tell that I'm frustrated with the situation, because it seems as if there's always something hindering some type of either, you know, make up with this particular team or break up with this particular team. And it's just a situation where I think us as fans are just simply over. Are you trading Zach or not? Is there a deal out there or not? You're not going to get what you're asking for. Let's be done with it. Let's pick a direction. If stop saying that you're not trying to rebuild. Like you have to rebuild. It's okay to rebuild. You have the pieces there to rebuild. Kobe White is a good piece to build around. Build around it. Develop the young guys. Let us see what Patrick Williams can really do. But to sit there and say, well, we're not trying to do this, but you haven't extended DeMar. Or you're not trying to do this, but you haven't drafted well. Or you're not trying to do this, you're trying to get rid of Zach Lavine. It doesn't make sense. Stop it. This is a world-class organization. You look stupid. Have the guts, make the hard decisions, move forward. Everyone's tired. You're tired. We're tired. Zach's tired. We're tired. Let's just go and make the decision. We're going to have to bite the bullet. Let's just suck for a while. It just is what it is. It ain't nothing new. Ain't like we were in the finals last year. Let's just suck for a while because at this point, that's exactly what these implications to me mean. Zach Lavine is injured. Any major trade that they were going to get, any particular haul, it was probably already set in stone. I think this could impact. Now you say it's just a twisted ankle, this, that, and the other. Again, it's not that part that I'm concerned about because that happens. It's the may have other implications as reported by others that gives me like, come on, dog. We know where you're going. This is you're trying to get a deal. They're trying to get a deal. It's leverage. We get where you're going. Let's just get it done. Let's go. Let's just be done with it. Let's be done with it. You're not going to get back the same level of star if you wanted to. You're not going to be able to do that. AK, you can't win every time. AK is not going to be able to fleece his way out of this situation again. You're not Pat Riley, and even Pat Riley has had to take it on the chin several times because Pat Riley has failed to get the big name star in Miami multiple times. He's just been fortunate that it's worked out, and that Miami's been competitive in most of those situations. In fact, what is Miami's record right now? I don't even know what Miami's record is right now. Let's find out. What's Miami's record right now? Miami's 6. You've been fortunate it's worked out. You're fortunate it worked out. Jaime Jaquez held up a trade for Dame. It turns out to be a good idea. Jaime Jaquez is hooping. But Jaime Jaquez was a nobody at the time that you decided that you didn't want to trade him. You may not get what you want. I say all that to say, AK, you may not get what you want. You're not going to get what you want. And it's absolutely your fault because these trade pieces don't make sense when you haven't put them in the best light. You just haven't. Let's just call a spade a spade. Instead of making moves to keep a point guard to help this team, you decided to get Javon Carter. As you all can tell, I am highly frustrated with all these moves, but it is what it is. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear how you all feel this is going to go. I think ultimately this is going to be a situation that ultimately ends in one or two things. We either trade Zach at a huge deficit, like we're gonna take the L, or hear me out, he stays. Would anybody be surprised? Not me. But whether it's love, whether it's hate, put it in the chat. I would love to hear your thoughts. Till next time. Peace.